In this video, you're going to find out that I get a little mixed up on the colors, the green and the brown of the turn signal, left and right. Left is brown, right is green. Okay, I don't know why. I've been laboring under the misconception that left is green and right is brown. And I went in and tried to do a test later on in this video, and what I found out was, well, I was wrong. So left is brown, right is green. I don't know. Oh well, can I use my age as an excuse? I've worked on 20 of these things. And I thought, sure, I had it right. Oh well. See you later. All right, one of my favorite things to do is wiring. Well, I lie a lot too. Anyway, I know a little bit about wiring on Yamahas because every one I've ever worked on has needed work on the wiring. Alrighty, before we try to install these turn signals on here, there's something wrong in this area. First of all, these are both supposed to be studs coming up from the muffler itself, and this one's got a bolt in it that looks like. They're supposed to have these acorn nuts on them, so this one's correct. But this one, I don't know what happened. If they welded a nut on there, broke it off and welded a nut in there or what. But we're going to take a look and see if we can figure that out. Also, this thing is supposed to have a little dimple in it that goes into a area that holds it from doing this. So I want to take a look at that. I don't think this is right. This is supposed to have a bolt that comes from the inside and has a nut and a couple washers on it out here. So let's see if we can find some wrenches. Okay, let's see what we can find. Is this a 12? No, hell, that's probably a 7/16. Is probably what it is. There's an 11. Yeah, that seems to work. Although not real well. Don't run into many 11s out here. I don't think that, let me see something. Not turning. Doesn't appear to be coming loose. Let's see about taking that one out. That's a 10. This appears to have all the right stuff on it, but I'm not sure. And this one, I don't know if that's a carriage bolt or what it is. Probably. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to need a Is it just turning? Yeah, it's just turning. Alright, well, we got to find some solutions for that kind of stuff. So I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, here's what I found in there after I got it off, which was a real trick because I never did get the bracket off, but I took the nut off of this one, and there was a 1/4-20 bolt stuck in this one. I don't know if they drilled this out, if this is actually a stud down in here or what, but it's going to be. So I ran a M6 down there, thread restorer, and I'm going to cut this off and put it down in there with a whole bunch of thread lock, and then smooth off well, I'll put it in this way so I've got a good end up here that I know of. I'll cut it off first. So I guess I'm gonna have to measure it and see how long I need it, but it should go right even with the other one there, and I'll cut it off maybe even a little bit long. But they have acorn nuts are what's supposed to go on them, and I have some acorn nuts, so we'll get to work on it and I'll be back. All right, so we got a new stud in there, and it's a proper M6. It's a little bit long, but I can probably grind that down after I get the nut on it, and we'll put it back in like it's supposed to be. I ordered some of these, so we'll have at least a couple new ones. I think there's one other used one over there that'll be just fine. And then I think we'll have all the hardware to put it back together. Now, the problem is that this right here, the nut won't come off of it. It's on the other side. The nut should be on the outside also, and it should also be an acorn nut. There's a little indent on this bracket that's supposed to hold it in place so it doesn't flop around like this. So we're going to have to get this off, and we're probably going to have to cut it off or grind it off, one or the other. But I'll do that tomorrow. I've had enough. Okay, after much consternation and gnashing of teeth, I finally got the turn signal mounts off. This is what was on there, but this is what's supposed to be on there. Maybe not chrome, probably they were black, but I just happen to have chrome ones here. You'll see right down here, hopefully, there's a hole, and that hole matches this little nub that sticks out. And when you put that in there and then put the bolt in it, that makes this stable. Now on top of this, you're going to have, I don't know, that will go in there, I think. You're going to have the muffler mount. And while I got scratched up one a little bit, the muffler mount will go like that. Alright, we're going to throw a coat of paint on this, which is the muffler mount. So when that's done, it will look like this, with this coming down and attaching to the muffler, these two. Now, the muffler itself was another problem. So let's take a look at the muffler. And what do you see? You see an O-ring in there, which is probably past its prime. They do cost a pretty penny, about $13 and some cents, but I ordered a couple, so I'll have one in stock. I suspect the 400 over there uses the same one. So, this right here, unfortunately, had a 1/4 bolt stuck down into it, but it's supposed to be a stud like this one is, and then it has an acorn nut on it to fasten it in. It'll have 3 more of these, one on each side, and it will, this will have 2 over here and 2 over here with the bracket in between them like that. So we'll get all this together, and I'm going to do a little bit of painting, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, let me show you what I got here. Oops, sorry I kicked you there. You still love me? Let's see here. Yeah, you're still kind of pointing in the right direction. Alright, so the rear turn signals mount to a bracket like this. On this bike, they were mounted with a bracket like this, and you might say, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a big difference. If you put these on there with these turn signals attached to them, they'll just flop all over the place because there's nothing to lock them in place. But on these brackets, which I had a couple of up there, they're a little rusty, but that matches the rest of the bike. They're very expensive, by the way, used or new, if you could find new ones. This has this little tab here, and in the frame bracket, the part of the frame that this bolts to, there's a little hole that corresponds with the bolt hole. So you put this in there, either on the left side or the right side, and this locks into that hole and pivots on this bolt here, and therefore it doesn't go anywhere. It stays where it belongs. So luckily I had those in stock. I got to find a couple of bolts, and we'll go ahead and work on the other one. It's got this square rubber in here, and this one got cut a little bit while I was trying to get that nut out, I think, or it might have been done before, I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll get this rubber in there, and then it has a square hole in it. And if you look on the other turn signal here, you'll find, let me take these off first so I don't lose them, you'll find that this, with the square on it, only locks in one position, because right here, if you can see it, there's a little tab, and it goes right here, which is hard to see, but maybe you can see it, I don't know. But anyway, these two lock together just like that, and then this goes into the square rubber hole, which goes into this, which locks in place too. So the turn signals, unless you bend them, which happens quite frequently on Enduros, but unless you bend them, these are going to pretty much stay in place. These, I have no idea what they're from, or if somebody took ones like these and did some work on them. That's possible. I don't know what it is. I'll throw them in a box up there. This one's all bent up. Somebody has done the Enduro thing with that. I'll bet you they're just off a different bike. So he's going to be signaling straight, I guess is what you'd say. Let me see if I can get this rubber in there without totally breaking it. That could be a trick. Alright, let's see. What do we got on this side? Alright, we need to get this up there. And this is folded under, so we got that all set in there like that. And we're going to put that right here. The wire goes through. And this points in the opposite direction as the light. It goes on that square like that. Everything's there. Now we got to have a black wire, which is ground, to make this light work. So you put first you put this on, and you'll notice this is just all bent out of shape. So we're going to work that over with a hammer. And I think we got it pretty close. Maybe just a little bit more right here. Ow! Doesn't do any good to get my finger in between the hammer and the washer, does it? Alright, so we got the large fender washer here, somewhat straightened out. And that goes over there. And then we have the black ground wire, and that goes over there. And then we have a spring washer and a nut that all go over there. So we've got everything the book calls for is there. We get that pointing in the reverse direction of the bulb. And then we got to find the correct bolts to put through this base hole down here. Because on one side it just goes through this and through the fender mount bracket, and on the other side it goes through this, and then this mounts on the outside of it. So, and this mounts to the muffler. Well, I just found something else that's missing. In the, you put the bolt in from the inside of the fender. Let me take you over there and show you. Every time I get close to something, I need another part. So, inside here, there's a rubber grommet with a sleeve inside of it. And you stick your bolt through. Well, let me not get in your way here. And then you put your turn signal on. You can run the wires up over here, I think. And then you match up this stuff. You get that in that hole it's supposed to go into. I hope. There it is. And you put a nut on it. But I need to get a washer first. There we go. All right. Perfect. That's what the other one will look like when I get the new sleeve. I got a lot more video here, but I kind of decided that I was going to break it up into 2 or 3 pieces because it takes so doggone long to download from my location. So you got 26 minutes here of me fumbling around and fixing things as best I can. So enjoy, and if you do enjoy it, why please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.